Welcome back for another episode of the Sports Playbook, where I'll be giving you a rundown of what's been happening in the world of sport over the last 7 days. You're joined by your host, Demos. There's been a lot of action in the last 7 days, so let's not waste any time. The clock's ticking, and let's get right into it. In netball, the New South Wales Swifts continue their undefeated season in 2025. As the season just ticked over halfway, the first place Swifts went up against the second place Sunshine Coast Lightning up in Queensland. The Swifts took control in the match, with exciting matchups up and down the court, but most importantly, the matchup between Courtney Bruce, the Lightning goalkeeper, and Grace Wecky, the Swifts goal shooter. But the Swifts got up 70-62 to keep their undefeated streak continuing. But it wasn't without scare though. The Sunshine Coast Lightning came back and scored 22 points in the final quarter. In other matches, the West Coast Fever took down the Giants 75-66, but unfortunately it was a double blow for the Giants. Jodie Ann Ward went down with an ACL injury, and that is her ruled out of season 2025. Wishing Jodie the best of luck in her recovery. For West Coast Fever goal shooter, Janelle Fowler-Namard, she scored her 9,000th National League goal. First person to achieve this milestone, congratulations to Janelle. In the other games, the Vixens bounced back and got the win against the Firebirds 70-52, and the Thunderbirds got the victory over the Mavericks 66-59. In football, Arsenal take out the Champions League going up against Barcelona. The Arsenal women's team took the victory 1-0 in Lisbon. They're the first English team since 2007 to win the UEFA Women's Champions League. And Arsenal were the last ones who actually won that back in 2007. They're the only English team to ever lift the trophy. Aussie Steph Catley and Caitlin Ford took to the field for the Gunners and got the victory. Well done to the Arsenal team. Also in football news, Tottenham Hotspur win their first trophy in 17 years. In the Europa League final, Ange Postecoglou's men defeated Manchester United 1-0 to win the title. For Ange, it's his second year at Tottenham and he's won a title. He was quoted in September in 2024 saying, "I'll correct myself. I don't usually win things. I always win things in my second year. Nothing's changed. I've said it now and I don't say things unless I believe in them." Well done to Tottenham and to Ange for that amazing victory. In rugby league, Lachie Galvin looks set to sign with the Bulldogs. Honestly, what a circus this has all been, but it looks like it's coming to a close. It looks like Lachie Galvin is set to join the Belmore Club on a 3.5-year deal immediately. I'm sure for the West Tigers and their fans, they are just looking to move on from this saga, but for the Bulldogs, it looks like Lachie Galvin coming to the club might cause a flow-on effect with others leaving the club. For Lachie, for people that don't know, he's played a lot of junior footy in many different positions. He's played in fullback, he's played in 5'8", and he's also played halfback, but his preferred position is 5'8". He's a bigger body, a little bit taller, and he's able to run at the line a bit more. That's what you normally look for in a 5'8". So does he take his preferred position at 5'8", and does Matt Burton then need to move back to the centres where he used to play? These are all the questions that need to be figured out. Or even, does he take Toby Sexton's halfback role all to play out here? And as we record this on Tuesday afternoon, there could be more Bulldogs players that are squeezed out of the club.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
This includes current hooker Reid Marnie and their current halfback Toby Sexton. Once again, this will be played out over the coming days and weeks, causing further disruptions to the current season events. Also in rugby league, State of Origin is set to light up Brisbane and Newcastle respectively. For the men's game, New South Wales are coming into the game with a couple of injury concerns. Payne Haas, who is the Blues prop, came into camp with a quad complaint. However, he is set to take the field and take that starting prop role. On Monday afternoon, Blues centre Stephen Crichton pulled up with a quad complaint after a contact session. The Blues will give Crichton up until Wednesday morning, so day of the match, to prove his fitness and so he can try and take the field for the big match. If he is unavailable, Campbell Graham, who is a Rabbitohs centre, will slot in and fill in for Crichton's role, and the 18th man will then become Matt Burton, Bulldogs' current 5'8". For the Maroons, they come into the game with no injury concerns, so I'm sure they're very happy to not be answering any injury news at all. In the women's contest, the Maroons will be without Keely Joseph and Tamika Upton. Hayley Maddock gets her start in the fullback position for Queensland. Lauren Brown will move from hooker to halfback, and Ali Brigginshaw will go from halfback to fill that lock position. For the Blues, they will go into the contest with an unchanged lineup, the same squad that won the series in Game 2 in Sydney. In cricket, Mitch March hits his maiden IPL century. Marsh hit 8 sixes on his way to make his maiden IPL ton and get the Super Giants a 33-run victory over the Titans. It's the first century scored by an overseas batter in this season's interrupted IPL season. Well done to Mitch. And in swimming, Ariarne Titmus stands up and slams the enhanced games. Titmus has signed up to Channel 9 as an expert commentator for the Australian swimming trials to be held in Adelaide starting from June 9th. But all the chat this week has been around the enhanced games and the new world record holder for the 50-metre freestyle. For those that don't know, the enhanced games is a breakaway event where athletes are encouraged to take performance-enhancing drugs under medical supervision in the following disciplines: swimming, athletics, and weightlifting. The games are set to go ahead in Las Vegas in May 2026. I mean, what a fitting location for this type of event. And there is major prize money on offer. Ariarne has come out and said she hopes that the money on offer would not lure the clean athletes away to the enhanced games. Ariarne was also quoted in saying, "I would never, ever be enticed to jump over and give it a crack for money." This will be something really fascinating to watch over the next year to see if any clean athletes go over to the enhanced games in the look to get a bit more money. And with that, we will take a short break and after get into your burning rubber breakdown. It's time for the burning rubber breakdown. Let's burn it up. In Formula 1, Lando Norris takes out the Monaco Grand Prix. The McLaren driver started on pole position, and he had a slight scare going to turn 1, locking up all 4 wheels and heading straight for the tyre barrier at turn 1. But thankfully for Norris, he was able to get out of the lockup and he went down turn 1, still with the lead. For Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, he started from second place and watched it all unfold, but he had the most difficult job of trying to pass Lando on the tight technical Monaco circuit. But the race wasn't without incident though. Pierre Gasly smashed into the back of Yuki Tsunoda's car, and Fernando Alonso had his power unit give up halfway through the race. World Championship leader Oscar Piastri secured 3rd place, and he was able to hold on to his World Championship lead. This was the first race with a mandatory 2 pit stops, so all teams and all drivers had to pit 2 times and they had to change their tyres twice as well. The race was rather pedestrian-like, and there was resounding disapproval for the mandatory 2 pit stops. The issue you have is Monaco holds prestige and the circuit has been there for so long. But Formula 1, the cars have gotten bigger, wider, and the circuit hasn't gotten bigger. Something has to give, but neither side wants to give in. The next race in the championship is the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. This will be the last time that the Spanish Grand Prix is held at the Barcelona track, as they will be moving to Madrid for the 2026 race. And in IndyCar, Alex Palou wins the Indy 500. For those that don't know, IndyCar is the highest class of American open wheel racing. Their premier event is called the Indianapolis 500, otherwise known as the Indy 500, held in Indiana. For Australians that listen to this podcast, it's similar in terms of a prestige event to the Bathurst 1000, that one race that everyone wants to win. Alex Palou from Spain won his first Indy 500. The 3-time IndyCar champion passed former F1 driver Marcus Ericsson with about 13 laps to go in the race. But this race had plenty of incidents. three-time former V8 Supercar champion Scott McLaughlin was out of the race before it even begun on the warm-up lap. Down the front straight on cold tyres, McLaughlin's car stepped out at the rear, unfortunately hit the wall, and that was his day done. He would not start the Indy 500. I really feel for Scott here. He was absolutely devastated and he couldn't start the biggest race of the year. Robert Schwartzman, who was a pole sitter, he also crashed out of the race. Coming into pit lane to change his tyres, he skidded and he hit 4 of his crew members in the process, and he also broke his front left suspension. As we record this on Tuesday afternoon, IndyCar has broken the major news that 3 cars have been disqualified post-race due to various technical infringements. Those cars include runner-up Marcus Ericsson, 6th place Kyle Kirkwood, and 13th place Callum Ilott. That is your burning rubber breakdown for the week. And now, it's time to get into your fast fact for a pub chat. It's time to pull yourself a chair and pour yourself a drink. It's this week's fast fact for a pub chat. It's time to give AFL some love in this episode. Do you know what the longest suspension that the AFL has ever handed out? It's 5 years, which is the equivalent of 99 games of AFL. Goodness me. The 2 individuals were Doug Fraser and Alex Lang. Back in 1910, they were handed the penalties after they were proven guilty of bribery. That is your fast fact for a pub chat. It's time for our final segment. It's got a new name. It's called the Playbook Planner. Here are some sporting events to look forward to this weekend. We have State of Origin Game 1 for the men's. It's New South Wales Blues versus the Queensland Maroons. Wednesday, the 28th of May, starting at 8:05pm. You can catch this live and free on Channel 9. We also have State of Origin Game 3 for the women's. This will be held in Newcastle. It's the Blues up against Queensland. Thursday, the 29th of May, starting at 7:45pm. You can catch this on Channel 9 or 9 Now. In netball, we have a top 4 clash. It's the New South Wales Swifts taking on the Adelaide Thunderbirds. The game will be held on Saturday, the 31st of May at 7pm. You can stream it on KO or Binge, or you can catch it on Foxtel. We also had the A-League Grand Final. It's the Melbourne Derby, Melbourne City versus Melbourne Victory at Amy Park. It's also going to be held on Saturday, the 31st of May at 7:40pm. You can stream it on Paramount or you can watch it on Channel 10 or 10+. It's the Men's Champions League Final. It's PSG versus Inter Milan, Sunday the 1st of June at 5am, Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. You can stream the game on Stan Sport. And finally, in Formula 1, it's the Spanish Grand Prix. It'll be held on Sunday, the 1st of June at 11pm, Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time. You can catch the race on KO or Foxtel. And with that, we have come to the end of today's episode. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next play.